Call the meeting to order. Tom, will you take the roll?
Sue? Kim?
Here.
Lonnie?
Here.
Marty?
Here.
Bill?
Here.
I'm present.
Thank you, Tom. I'll bring your attention to the Open Meetings Act is out in the boardroom there. So if you want to read it sometime, you're welcome to. Is there a motion for verification of legal advertising?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Tom, second by Lonnie, that we have verification of legal advertising. Roll call vote. Tom?
Yes.
Lonnie?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Marty?
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
And second.
It's been moved by Marty, second by Tom. We approve the agenda as presented. Roll call vote. Lonnie?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Marty?
Yes.
I vote yes. Tom?
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, the purpose of this meeting is to consider closing of Valleyside Attendance Center and sale of property and equipment. And I guess at this point, you know, I would open it up to the audience if they have anything that they'd like to add to what was discussed the other night. You know, we heard a lot of comments the other night, and if anybody has anything that they'd like to add to that, we're receptive to listening to it.
Thank you. I will take this opportunity to reiterate the main reasons we feel you should keep Valleyside open. We would like to persuade any undecided board member to do what we think is the right thing. First of all, we do not in any way think the education you provide is subpar to ours. That needs to be made perfectly clear. You are dealing with numbers that mean nothing. You do a good job of providing a quality education for most students. In fact, I will say the vast majority do very well here in town. Here's the sticking point: most students. We have two very recent examples of students who did not succeed in town, but did and are doing very well with our help. We feel it would enhance the Ord Public School system to keep Valleyside and the other rural sites open to provide for students who aren't in the most category. We have asked that you find a way to develop an innovative and educational system that works for all students, become the model. No doubt this will be a challenging task, but it is doable. We have offered to become part of the bigger solution. We think we can help families who are struggling. Let us try. Your concerns are primarily budgetary, and understandably so. The state aid formula is not completed for next year. We don't have those numbers. Valuations have increased, so we really don't know budget-wise what we're looking at next year. We do understand what it is like to deal with the budget in very trying times. Our last year of operation under our Valleyside board, we had $60,000 roughly to educate 10 students. We understand what it takes to cut budgets and make it happen. You are currently saying it costs over $90,000 to operate our schools. We need to better understand the numbers, I think, in order for that $90,000 to make sense to us. We also need to understand what percentage of your total budget is assigned to the Valleyside school to give us a better perspective. Max, I'm publicly asking you for an itemized accounting of those costs associated with Valleyside, and I do understand that will take time, but we do want to look at it. We need to understand those numbers and how it is affecting your decision. Over a week ago, we expressed numerous concerns we have about sending our children to the town school. I specifically mentioned my desire to have these problems solved before I would feel comfortable sending my children here. Tom asked me to have a little faith. 3 days after that meeting, a drug incident happened in a junior high. From what I understand, those involved are good kids with decent parents. I have a good kid, and I think I'm a decent parent. We are asking for a detailed plan on how you are going to help us from becoming those kids and those parents. Until we can know what is being done to address this, we feel our children are perhaps a little safer out at Valleyside. You have the power to make this decision. With that power comes a huge responsibility, which I'm sure none of you take lightly. I know you, I respect you as a board, and I know that to be true. Closing Valleyside is a seemingly easy solution to a budget challenge. Keeping Valleyside open is one solution to catch students falling through the cracks elsewhere. Nothing great was ever achieved by doing easy things.
Any other comments or questions for us? Dr. Julie?
I asked last time about the student who was presented, I think her name was Chesney or something like that, and she had been in the art school district through December, was thriving out at Valleyside. What you want to do to prevent that same thing from happening when she went back into the school district, and no one answered last week, and I wondered if you had time to think about it, if you had an answer now.
To prevent her from,
Going to the same thing where she fell through the cracks. It wasn't because her teacher didn't care, but her teacher didn't have time to spend extra time with her.
We can talk about the semantics, I guess, but I don't know if, I'm willing to say she fell through the cracks. That's a pretty big assumption or statement to
I
make.
would say she wasn't thriving.
So again, it's whatever the semantics are. I think within our system, the teachers care, the administration cares, the principal, Mr. Dennis and Mrs. Wellick at the elementary school go to great lengths to try and interact with each student on a daily basis. For example, if you pull up to the elementary school in the morning, one thing that's a constant there is you'll see Mr. Dennis greeting each student coming in. Every morning he's there at the door, opening the door, welcoming each kid on an individual basis as they come through the door. Is it the perfect match of the time that perhaps was available at Valleyside? Probably not, just because of the numbers involved. And in a perfect system, it would be nice if we could have a 1-to-8 ratio or whatever the ratio would be, but we're just not able to do that in the district.
I understand, but what are you going to do just to watch out for these kids who aren't getting the perfect match?
Well, I think with Mr. Dennis and Mrs. Wellick, that is the first line, but there's also the teachers' involvement with things going on in the elementary school, with the aides involved, the teachers, the Title I professionals that are there. They're trying to interact and identify these kids and work with them. But at some point, the parents need to be engaged also, and sometimes that's the problem. I'm not saying it is in this case, because we aren't in a position where we can sit up here and talk about a specific plan involving a specific student. If a parent wants to come in and talk about that publicly, that's fine, but we probably aren't able to comment about that specific student in a meeting like this.
So it's the same system that we're going back into, bottom line.
I don't know that I would say the same system, the same concept. There's always changes, and there's always the goal to try and improve. And there's been some things identified through the discussions that we've had in the past 2 or 3 meetings on this that I think have created an awareness too that will help. There has been some constructive things come out of this process, no matter what happens.
Great, I appreciate hearing that.
Because I think, especially with the elementary staff hearing some things that, they were, I'm not sure upset's the right word to use, but some of those staff people, took it personally that, we want every kid in our system to feel, that they're welcome, that we want them here, and that they can be involved, and that we're approachable. And I think that's what those teachers are really after, and the whole staff. It's not just limited to teachers. So there has been some, good things come.
and I think Tom stated that very well, and the positive things that come about it. Part of it is